Good morning, Reese. Yes, so they say SEC fans are built different, and I have two guys right here in a fun raft that have a really cool story. So check this out right here. They're two high school buddies from Northwest Atlanta. Their names are Ben and Peter. They were supposed to drive to Tuscaloosa for the game yesterday, but Peter couldn't see the front yard with all the flooding around his house, and his car was submerged. So Ben had no fear, went and bought a raft to pick Peter up so he wouldn't miss the game. And guess what? They made it here, y'all. Raft and all. All right, so Peter, were you surprised when your buddy showed up with this beautiful raft and oars?
I was very surprised. I thought I wasn't going to be coming to Tuscaloosa, maybe not even today. But when I told him, he was like, we're going to make it happen, and we did.
Well, Ben, where does this come from, this commitment? What does Georgia and the Bulldogs and this specific game mean to you?
Georgia's everything to me. But my parents went there. It's bloodline. It's where I want to be. And go Dogs.
I was going to say, who do you think is going to win? Pat loves this story. He said, they're dogs. Y'all are dogs. Georgia, they're going to apply early decisions. So this is the kind of commitment that you're looking for. And, of course, our thoughts and prayers are definitely with all the people that are affected by this severe storm. There's so much more coming up on College Game Day right after this.
The head coach of the Bulldogs, 5 straight wins in AP Top 5 matchup. And we're delighted to be joined by the head coach of the Bulldogs here, who's getting the reception that one would expect. Kirby, great to have you with us. Look, we talked about it off the top of the show. It feels different with Nick in a different role. When you walk out on that field tonight, all of these meetings you've had against Alabama, what do you think it's going to be like to not have him as the opposing coach for that pregame conversation?
I don't know. It's always different because we had so many staff meetings together over the 11, 12 years we spent together. So the pregame meeting was always delightful to me because it was good to be around a great friend and somebody that I respect a lot. And Kalen, I'm just still getting to know a little bit and been around him in the SEC meetings and look forward to visiting with him.
Well, Kirby, I think one of the things people really underestimate is how difficult it is. You've played great defense so far this year, but how difficult it is to play against a dual-threat quarterback that has the running ability and quarterback run-type plays that Alabama could run against you. What is your plan to try to negate that part of their offense and what Jalen Milroe can do as a runner?
Well, tackle the man with the ball. He is a grown man, and he is very hard to tackle. They do a great job of using those plays wisely and judiciously when they run him and when they ask him to run. But he's really elite at it. And so for us, we worked really hard at being disciplined. Whether you've got a surf technique and you've got to read him, you've got to do that job with a great discipline. He is a tough guy to defend, as you know, because of that element. The middle field safety now is going to have to play the middle of the field, but also play Jalen. And he creates a lot of nightmares for defenses, and that's why they've been so explosive. I mean, they're the most explosive team in college football today.
Coach, none of these people are listening to any of your answers. They're just booing you. It's disrespectful. Yeah, I apologize. I thank you for making time to come chit-chat with us today, but I would like to talk about how you're talking to your team. Obviously, we know how last year ended in the SEC title. That was the first loss your team had in like 30 games. Back-to-back national championship, and you're left out of the 14 playoff. You guys weren't allowed to be mad, though, because Florida State didn't get it. How often did you use that messaging and hold that over your team's head all offseason? And how much have you been looking forward to this particular week with your squad since then?
No, we didn't make it about them. We don't make it about Alabama beating us in that game. There's things that we did that we didn't play well, and they did. They outperformed us. They out-physicaled us. They really won the line of scrimmage, and that's what you do in the SEC. If you can win the line of scrimmage, you got a great opportunity. So that game is in last year. I told the guys, that game is last year, and a lot of the people are different, on our sideline and their sideline. So it's a new game, but it is an incredible program, an incredible atmosphere for both teams. I mean, this is a showcase of recruiting. Kids all the way out in Cali and all over the country want to come play in these kind of matchups. So that's the most important thing. The biggest difference is a regular season game. It has a bunch at stake to see who's going to be in the lead and who's going to start trying to secure one of those playoff spots. But in the SEC, we got a ton of games after this one. They do, and we do.
Kirby, Kane Womack now the defensive coordinator. You know, you're used to going up against coach's scheme. What stands out for Carson and Mike Bobo and in this offense, in this matchup, what they have to be able to do to have a good night?
Well, they play really good defense. They're very sound in what they do. The players understand the defense. You can tell they execute at a high level. They play a lot of guys. So they are very fresh and able to play into the fourth quarter because they've got depth. And they've done a good job in the portal, bringing, you know, 2 really good players in the secondary that have played for them and done a great job. So, you know, for us, it'll be we got to establish the run. You have to be able to run the ball in this game to take some pressure off of your quarterback, and I think that's critical for us today.
Coach, you got 2 great coaching staffs. You have 2 excellent teams. What do you think is going to determine the outcome of tonight's game?
The players making plays in critical moments. You know, you can always go to turnovers. That's as long as it is history. But at the end of the day, the teams that are explosive, and they've been very explosive, and defensively we've done a good job stopping those explosives. But the game comes down to how you respond to the momentum swings in the game. And the crowd makes it a little tougher on the road, but who responds well to adversity is going to be a long way into determining who wins.
One team that has not allowed a touchdown this season, those Georgia Bulldogs. Kirby, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks a lot for joining us.
We appreciate you, Kirby.
2-time national champion.
Enjoy.
Thank you, Ben. Thanks.
Bringing his Bulldogs in here tonight.
How much